Hello guys, and welcome to Silverstone for yet another edition in this Project Cars career mode. Currently in Formula A here, the second season, and we're about 8 races in so far. Just coming off a win there at Brno. Did pretty well there. That was a nice race. Had a lot of fun doing that. And we are back here in Great Britain for the second time this season. Some of you may or may not know we had a race earlier this season at Brands Hatch where we ended up crashing out there. And going even further back there to last season, we had 2 races at Donington where we ended up dead last in both races here. So we're not used to having much success here in England. Anyway, jumping ahead to the task at hand here, this is going to be the second lap of the qualifying session here. 1:37.713, P22 so far. Absolutely horrible time there. So we are going to be staying out for an additional lap here, see if we can improve on that, or rather, we absolutely have to improve on that. Otherwise, there's absolutely no chance we're going to be scoring any points today. Coming through Beckett's and Chapel here on lap 3. This is going to be our final lap of the qualifying session here. Very fast laps so far here by the looks of it if you look at the sector times there. But we need to make this one count because we are running out of fuel at this point here. So this is the last chance we're going to have of putting in a fast lap here. Coming through Club here out on the main straight. How are we going to be faring here at Silverstone today? 1:34.669. That is good enough for provisional pole, and we are going to be starting first on the grid for tomorrow's race there. So as you can see there, we managed to hold on to pole position there right ahead of Duncan O'Halloran and Javier Lopez in third. I'm not seeing Fabio, our teammate, anywhere, so apparently he appears to be having yet another off day there. So getting ready for the lights here. 3 red, 1 green, and it's going to be mayhem getting out of the gate here. We get a pretty decent start here. Just a tad of wheel spin there, and it appears that Duncan O'Halloran is moving up the inside of us there. We just about managed to cut him off here, heading into Abbey and onto Farm, and needing to take a defensive line here as we come into Village, cutting it very, very fine indeed, running a little wide there, but managing to hold the inside line there, squeezing in right below Duncan O'Halloran there. Somebody running off track all over the place, not really sure what happened there, but we managed to make pole position count here as we are currently leading the race after the first couple of turns. Coming up on the Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel section, this is probably the most difficult part of the circuit for me personally. I always seem to struggle in this sequence of turns here, but on this first lap here, it appears that we get it done nicely here as we head out onto Hanger Straight with about a half a second lead on Duncan O'Halloran. So lap 1 status there, we managed to take full advantage of our pole position, leading the race here about a little over half a second down to Duncan O'Halloran. I believe Javier Lopez is currently in third. Skipping right ahead to lap 3 here, no change in positioning overall. Duncan O'Halloran still about half a second down on us. I have to say though, given the fact that this car is currently fully loaded with fuel, it really does handle like a champ, and I'm feeling very comfortable with it at this point. Like I was talking about earlier, this is probably the section of the track where I usually have the most difficulty. And as you can see there on the gap down to Duncan O'Halloran, it is decreasing by quite a margin right here. He's only about 3/10 down on us now. Jumping right ahead to lap 7 here, things going according to plan so far. We are putting in some very nice laps at this point and are opening up a slight gap down to the P2 car. Duncan O'Halloran still in P2, but he is now almost about a second and a half down on us. Car is handling beautifully, and it doesn't appear as though we're going to be having any rain here today. The weather forecast set medium cloud, and by the looks of it right here, this is only light cloud, so things are looking good at this point. Skipping right ahead to lap 10 here. Forget all I said about not seeing any rain here today. The skies appear next to clear here, actually. I'm not really sure how this works out, but it's been going on for a couple of laps already, and by the looks of it right here, it's not going to stop anytime soon, and we're already losing grip here, so I guess it's just about time here that we actually go in and make a pit stop. The only question is, what kind of compound are we going to be fitting to the car here? Haven't really had much success earlier in these previous seasons here picking the right compound here, so I guess this time around, given the fact that we only saw a medium cloud forecast, we're going to be going for the wet compound, hoping it's not going to get any worse than that.
An electrical failure in the engine. Hopefully this won't be a showstopper, so we're just going to try and get it fixed.
And not only does it start to rain here, forcing us to make an unscheduled stop, we also have an electrical failure in the engine. And as you can see, Duncan O'Halloran, parked right in front of us there, pulls out what seems to be ages before us, and we're going to be losing a lot of spots here. We had several cars within 3 or 4 seconds of us there, and I estimate that we've lost at least 5 or 6 seconds by that prolonged pit stop there. So definitely not the best of luck on our part there. So rejoining the track here in P16, obviously that is not going to hold up. We have a lot of cars out on track that have not been in to change their tires yet, so this is going to change, obviously. But like I said, we lost a lot of spots there in the pits. Tough luck on our part. Jumping ahead to lap 11 here, we are being put under a lot of pressure here by Sasha Schutz. Coming through Beckett's here, we run a little wide into turn 13 there. A little bit of contact there. Sasha Schutz gets a much better exit than we do. No damage, thankfully, there, but we are down into P17 here on lap 11. And I'm not really sure what it is with the AI on this particular track. It must be something with my setup here, but I have been struggling quite a bit on the exit of turns, seemingly unable to match the traction of the AI here. And once again, being put under a lot of pressure from behind by Tim Allen coming through Klopp here. He goes down the inside of us on the main straight, almost squeezes us off track there, in fact, as we are way down into, well, what appears to be P7 because a lot of cars are in the pits there, but effectively we've lost yet another spot here as we have more cars exiting the pits here. Not sure who that was, but also Christian Borgens moving down the inside of us there as we run wide in Village, and a little bit of contact here as we squeeze back down the inside of Christian Borgens there, but we are being put under immense pressure here and are truly struggling at this point. Coming through Brooklands here, we have Christian Borgens running off track, but rejoining the track like a true champ here, coming into Lovefield, moving down the inside of us here. Superior traction on the exit there. Also, Peter Monroe moving down the outside of us there as we are going neck and neck with Peter Monroe here on the National Pit Straight. A little bit of contact here. Just managing to squeeze out Peter here, I think. No, still going neck and neck here as we're going to be coming into Mackett's too wide here, right behind Christian Borgens. This could easily end up in a very ugly fashion there as Peter just bumps us off track there a little bit. We lose that position. We're way down into P10, and I'm not really sure what to do at this point here. We just don't seem to have the pace. Jumping ahead to lap 15 here, no change overall, except the rain has increased ever so slightly here. It's still not raining cats and dogs by any means here, but we are definitely having trouble. And as you can see there, Frank Landron moving down the inside of us there. Again, superior AI traction coming out of turns. I'm really lacking in that respect, and we are way down into P10 there, having passed Peter Monroe, who was off track momentarily there. And coming into Village here, we have 3 cars moving down the inside of us there. Brian Herring firing is one, Peter Monroe is another. We try and go for the switchback on Peter Monroe here, coming into the left-hander there, almost making that stick, but we have to concede the corners. We come out on Wellington straight here, right on the exhaust of Peter Monroe. We have the slipstream effect there, moving down the inside of him, no trouble whatsoever. We are back into P9 at this point here, running a little wide in Brooklands here, trying to go for a defensive line here into Luffield, and again, we are suffering on the exit here, coming onto the national pit straight there. Peter Monroe moving down the inside of us there. There's nothing we can do to match him at this point here. And we just seem to be unable to get the proper exit speed from corners here, and it is really, really hurting us at this point. And I said we were into P9. Obviously, I meant P11. A little bit of wishful thinking on my part. And for once here, actually getting a decent sequence going here through Mackett's, Beckett's, and Chapel. But as you can see there, the second we come out on Hanger Straight, Peter Monroe just puts his foot down. We actually need about half the straight to make the move stick here, moving into Stowe a little bit too early on the brakes here. See if we can't go down the inside of Peter Monroe there, but again on the exit, he appears to be much faster than we are as we remain in P12. And what's even worse here, if you look at our tire wear, I'm not really sure what to think about that. Our front left is already about halfway through the rubber here, and it doesn't appear as though it's going to stop raining at any point. So on lap 19, we have absolutely no choice than to come in for another set of wet tires here, and that is definitely going to hurt any chances we might have had to score some points here. And a stuck wheel knot as well. Well, what can I say, guys? Britain certainly is a harsh mistress. Jumping right ahead to lap 21 here. Thankfully, we're not going to be finishing this race dead last, as it appears that we have two cars out of the race here. One of them being Marcus Larson. I'm not really sure who the other guy is, but we're into P20 here, guys. Isn't it just beautiful? Jumping to lap 25 here. The rain is ever so slightly starting to subside, and it's now time to come in and make the switch for a set of dry tires here. This is going to be our third stop here today, and I'm just wondering what's going to go wrong with this particular pit stop here. I guess nothing so far. Impressive. 3 times a charm, huh, guys? Skipping right ahead to lap 33 here, believe it or not, guys, we are actually catching our teammate Fabio here, as he is currently in P19. So a dreadful weekend here at Silverstone for the Auto Rebel team, as it appears that we're not going to be scoring any points whatsoever here today. But I'm going to be putting out all the stops here to beat Fabio. I do not want to lose to my teammate here. No way. Starting on pole, he wasn't even in the top 10. The fact that we have to battle it out for P19 is just not right, but this is where we're at, and we just have to make the best of it. Coming through Chapel on a Hanger Straight here. If we're going to be passing Fabio, this is where we have to do it here. Moving down the inside, we're not going to be making the same mistake as we did with Peter Monroe here. Braking at the right point this time here, making the move stick as we are into P19. Way! There you have it, guys. Lap 36. We're coming home in P19, and I certainly hope this is the last time we're going to be visiting Britain here in this particular season. If we come back here for Donington or something like that, I think I'm just going to put myself in a corner and cry. Anyway, Duncan O'Halloran taking the win here today, ahead of Javier Lopez and Jeffrey Belk rounding off the podium in third. And I really have to say, I'm a little down over this one here. I thought we had the pace, as witnessed there by our fastest lap of the race and our qualifying position there, and I don't really think that we made any, grave mistakes or anything like that, but obviously we weren't very lucky with our pit stops, and also it seemed that we actually picked the wrong compound as we went in and changed for wet tires. We probably should have gone for intermediates instead there, so we ended up wearing out our tires way too quickly there. But I guess we can always chalk that one up to experience. At least we learned something today. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more Project Cars action. And I'll be seeing you soon enough. Bye-bye.